So good afternoon. I'll continue the discussion now. Okay. So last class we stopped at this what features makes the construction project as a unique entity than the other projects like other projects. There are so many. See, we can put so many things under as a project. If you take an example of like something other than technical, like conducting Kannada Sahitya, what we call that. Every year we conduct Kannada Sahitya Adhiveshana, right? So making that project, making that event successful is also a management. That is also a project. Okay, and the event by the time this year's Sahitya Sammelana Parishad is going to end, the next day, the next year's Sahitya Sammelana Parishad's activities will be starting. That's how the projects are. Okay, so we can categorize so many things under project. And to construct, for a construction project, if we want to call them as an unit, so there are again so many things what we discussed in the last class. Like it's always a one-time activity, generally a one-time activity for an owner, not necessary for an engineer or a contractor, but owner is generally for him it's a one-time activity. So complexity, it involves multidisciplinary functions. Activities are supposed to be done multidisciplinary. Okay, high cost and time for execution required is also high. There's always a risk of failure is high because so many uncertainties which involve there, so many risks and situations we have to encounter so that our project is going to finish at this time. Maintaining quality standards is also very difficult. Okay, uniqueness of people. Then feedback mechanism is very difficult to get a feedback and to have a control over our execution process. And of course, lack of experience for client and or the owner, and then untrained force work. So these are difficulties. These are unique features, and then of course, manager or the engineer has to deal with these things, and we should make the project successful. Let us also let us try to understand what functions a construction manager may have to do on the project site is. Okay, this we discussed in the last class. Just I want to put the things in somewhat not here as a formality. So construction manager is being involved in phasing of the project. He is required in administration, financial and technical control. He is required in planning and designing. Of course, planning and designing is one first phase. It's a first phase of the project there. Okay, he is very much required in procuring the plants, machineries, equipment for the sites. Okay, he is required for having construction stores there, making purchase of the materials required, maintaining them. Okay, that's also a role of a construction manager. Recruitment and training the staff and the labor is one of the important factor which the again construction manager has to look for that. Payment, salaries and wages they are supposed to be again made by a construction manager because if you take an example of a payment for some work, then basically the payment in the construction is based on the quantity of the work. So we need to measure what work is being done at what percentage. Okay, so that's a role of a construction manager. We need to understand how much work is being done, and so according to that, the payment is supposed to be made. And welfare of the staff and labor is another aspect. Okay, he should be he's responsible for welfare of the staff and the labor, the safety of the labor during working. Okay, he should know if what happens if there is any accident in the site, what needs to be done. He should know that. No, I'm not talking of the first phase now. Okay, what formality is supposed to be done? Who should be called? Like fire extinguishers or the policeman or the help uh, helpline. So what needs to be done, and he should have a record of all such some sort of government agencies which are nearer to the construction site. There has to be a record of that. Okay, and of course communication between administration and the field staff. So he should pass on the information from top level to the bottom level. That is going to be a role of the construction management. The same thing which is being set out in IS 15883. I've just taken an image of the that particular IS code. Okay, they say construction project management consists of number of processes, and these can be grouped under the following management functions. There's a scope management, is involved in procurement management, there is required for time management, cost management, quality management, risk management, communication management, human resource management, safety, health and environment management, integration management, and other management processes. So many things to be put under the management processes. So all those things are under, like they are supposed to be looked at by a construction manager. So those are the functions of the construction manager. Now let us try to understand the next thing in as the main functions of the management are. We have discussed about planning. Okay, now let us go with this organization. Organizing is a second important function of a manager. Okay, not always, not for just a construction manager. This is a function for every manager in every industry, IT industry, mechanical industry, every industry. This is required. Okay, so let us go get into this organizing function. So we may have to understand few important terms there. Organizing, the meaning of this organizing is arranging and structuring the work to accomplish the organization's goals. Okay, so the arrangements and making the structure so that like those who are working alike, those who are workings are similar, they can be put under one department. Okay, so making an arrangement of such departments so that everyone works for the organization's goal, that is called as an organizing. That is called as organizing. Next, organizational structure. The formal arrangement of jobs within an organization is called as organizational structure. Okay, we have to define our organization structure for a particular project. Okay, who should work for whom? Okay, what shall be our heads? If we take an example of manufacturing industry, then how many departments are required? Basically, first research and development department is required. Okay, then comes the procurement. Okay, once we develop a research and development, next we have to purchase the material, that is called as a procurement department. Then comes a manufacturing department. Okay, then comes marketing and sales department. Okay, so these are the different departments. If you take an example of anything, if we want to put it in a market, so these are supposed to be studied and these are supposed to be done differently, like independently, but integration of those will be our output. Okay, so that making that particular structure of that for that particular project is nothing but the organizational structure. Next is work specialization, dividing the work activities into separate job tasks. That's called as work specialization. Okay, so we have to divide the work activities into tasks who are specialized, and it shall be assigned to that particular person who is specialized in that. That is called as work specialization. So understanding this work specialization is very important as far as construction industry is considered. Okay, like for example, anything related to soil conditions, assessing the soil conditions, that has to be done by a geotechnical engineer. Anything related to design, the steel, what we have to put, how it is to be arranged. Okay, that is a part of a design engineer, a structural design engineer. Like of course, making concrete design, maybe some sort of role of a structural engineer. Okay, he's going to decide what grade of concrete shall be used there. Okay, then comes construction technologist, where he will be using developed or advanced technologies so that whatever the design we have, that can be executed. Okay, so that is a work specialization, and someone will be specialized in testing, that is quality control. So he's going to check the quality control of the executed projects. Like this, work specialization goes on in construction industry. Okay, and we have to divide the work activities into separate job tasks so that they can be monitored quite comfortably, so that they can be handled very easily on the side. They can be achieved very easily on the side. So once if we could do this work specialization, then another thing to be understood is departmentalization. Okay, this is that process by which jobs are being grouped together. Departmentalization is a process by which jobs are grouped separately. Okay, that is a departmentalization. What type of departmentalization we have is a functional departmentalization, geographical departmentalization, product departmentalization, process departmentalization, and then customer departmentalization. A functional departmentalization, as I told you, if we want to put any new thing in the market, say something like mobile or something else, then we will be having so many other departments like R&D, we have procurement department, we have manufacturing department, sales department, marketing department, executive department. These are the departments. They work separately, but they work independently. Ultimate aim is to get the output or to sell the goods on the market. Okay, that is functional. Geographical, like as far as geographical is considered, the better example is our Indian Railways. Okay, there are around 10 and plus I think 5 are being included now. So there are around 15 headquarters of this Indian Railways, what we call now, for example, Hubli is a headquarter for Southwestern Railway. Okay, like this, there will be a separate headquarter for Northern Railways, Northeastern, Northwestern. Okay, similarly, Southeastern, Konkan Railway, Western Railways, Eastern Railways. Okay, there are these are this is a departmentalization based on the geographical conditions. Okay. Similarly, product based on the product we can have a departmentalization. For example, if you take an example of let us say cars, cars. Which one? Yeah, we'll take an example of a Tata. Tata is one big manufacturer who is going to manufacture cars in the Indian market. Okay, and departmentalization is based on generally they will be having different departments to produce. A nano car department is something different. Okay, then Tiago is something different. Then Tata Nexa we have the model version. So producing Tata Nexon cars or something else. So making those cars department is going to be different. Okay, that is a product based. Similarly, we can have process-based departmentalization. Basically, this process-based departmentalization comes in textile industry or in a chemical industry. So, what type of process we use, based on that, we will make the departments. Okay, like ginning department, spinning department, sieving department. They are the departments based on the process. Okay. Similarly, in some cases, we may have customer-based departmentalization. I think I have given you, I will be giving you the examples for all these separately there. Okay, we'll get into that. Then another thing is centralization and decentralization. Okay, it's a management term which is related to a degree by which a decision making is it's degree by which a decision making the authority is being given to the person. If only if only top level people are going to take decisions, it's called as centralization. They take the decision, they pass the decision to the middle level and the bottom level, and they have to work on it. Okay. And decentralization is not like that. Chop, they just choke out our goals. They pass the goals to the middle level and the lower level, and it is left to middle level and the lower level management that what needs to be done to achieve the goal. That is decentralization. Okay. One thing to be understood here is both have their own advantages and disadvantages. If we completely go for decentralization, it always depends on the skills of the lower level people. If they are not motivated, if they are not interested in producing like in having some innovative ideas, then decentralization type failures. There will be a failure. Similarly, centralization is like a Hitler policy. They just give the orders and the others have to follow it. In some situations, such a type of centralization may not work. May not work. It becomes difficult to handle the people. So, making to what extent we should go for a centralization or decentralization is very difficult. But still, we should know this part, and for a manager to be a very good manager on any project, they should have a control over both the centralization and decentralization, where to ultimately achieve the goals of the organization. Okay, so let us go with few examples of these organizational structures. Okay, this is what organizing is about. Organizing the work and assigning them to a specialized people is about organizing. So this is one typical organizational structure for certain company. There is a managing director at the top level. Okay. Then there will be a marketing director, a finance director, operations director, and then human resource management director. Under these directors, again, there will be so many other managers like marketing manager, finance manager, production manager, sales teams, accounts assistants, production team members. This goes on. Okay. So this is one typical organization structure. Next, this is an organizational structure based on the functions. Typically, I think this is an example for a construction company, some manufacturing company. Okay, so we have a president here, then there is a HR department, then there is a finance and administration. Okay, now this classification, whatever I have like marketing, engineering, manufacturing, and procurement. This is organization, the functional organization. They perform their own works, and under this head again, there will be again different departments. Like under marketing, there is a customer service department, there is a domestic sales department, and then the international sales department. Similarly, under engineering, we will be having electronics engineering, the software engineering, or mechanical engineering, and for manufacturing, like fabrication work, assembly work, testing, and production scheduling. These kinds under manufacturing, and under procurement, it's about purchasing and checking the quality inspection. Okay. So this is a typical example for functional organization. Whatever I have shown in the dotted line, this is that classification based on the functions. In example 3, this is based on the geographical area structure for a multinational corporation. So we have a board of directors here, then there's a president, then there's a research and development, and the corporate staff. Then if we could look at this operating companies, the heads who are being spread in different geographical areas, US, Europe, America, Africa, it's Latin America, Africa, and Asia. Okay, and under each of the countries, there will be so many again products, product A, product B, product C. Like if you take an example of the Sony, the leading manufacturer of electronics, okay, and he will be having like this will be almost similar, then he will be having heads in individual countries. Okay, then Sony itself is going to have so many products like TVs, mobiles. Okay, and there are again so many camera, right? So these are the products, the product A, product B, product C, like that. You will have these things. So this is an organization start showing you product departmentalization. The departmentalization is being made based on the products. Production, this will be there. Now there will be a manager for product A, for product B, and product C. Again, under him, there will be so many managers like production, finance, accounting, this. This is another type of an organizational structure. I have a CEO, and then maybe this is I think for a pharmaceutical company. So for skincare products, head is going to be different. For vitamin products, head is going to be different. For drug products, head is going to be different. So this is again product-based organizational structure. So this is a process-based departmentalization or organization structure. As I told you, textile industry. This is for a textile industry. We have a spinning department, we have a weaving department, dyeing department, and then printing department. Okay. So what work they do and by what process they use, based on that we can have a departmentalization. So customer-based departmentalization is like under sales, director of sales, we will be having a manager for retail accounts, manager for the wholesale, and manager for the government accounts. Okay, they are all different customers, so handling them is supposed to be done by different managers. Next is what type of organizations or organizational structures exist. The above things I said is only examples. Okay, but basically there are four types of organizational structures what we can adopt in any project. The first one is line or military or scalar organizations. Second is called as functional or traditional organizations. Third one is project or product organizations. And the fourth one is matrix or grid type of an organization. So when it comes to this line of military or scalar organization, okay, it's something like the authority flows from top to bottom here. The authority, it flows from top to bottom, and at the same time responsibility increases from bottom to the top level. It's like, look, if you could look at this communication, the communication is one way here. It passes from top to bottom. Okay. So those who are working under any of the people, they are supposed to follow the head, follow his head. This is called as line or military type. Okay, here we have to just listen and we have to go for working as per the rules or policies made by the top level. Okay, line or military. So this type of organizational structure, particularly, it holds good in military, so that's why it's called as military organization. Okay, its authority flows from top to bottom. Second is functional or traditional organization, where organizational structure is being done based on what functions they perform. Okay, so this is one typical example. There is a general manager, for him to assist, there will be three other general managers based on what functions they do. So there is a manager for production, there is a manager for finance, and there is a manager for marketing. Okay, similarly under him again there will be so many other managers working. Okay, this is based on the functions, and this is a traditional type of an organization structure. Okay, this is how generally a construction process or construction, an individual construction company works. A third one is project or product organization, like what products or what projects they are going to handle. So based on this, there will be the organizational structure is going to be made. Like if you take an example of one company, can you give me an example of a company, like a leading construction company? Someone?
L&T.
Someone said L&T, very good. Larsen and Toubro. L&T stands for Larsen and Toubro. It's one leading construction company. Can you name how many projects it is handling now? Like any random number. Just any random number. Even I don't know how many projects right now it is handling. I'm just asking you like how many it can handle, how many projects it can handle at a time. Any number. You can just throw any number. Yes? Right now, L&T is working in the Bangalore for expansion of this Kempegowda International Airport. Okay, expansion of that airport work is going on, and the L&T itself is doing it. And at the same time, L&T is also working in Chennai port. Okay, both the projects are different. Both the projects are different. And heads for those projects are also going to be different. Head for a project is nothing but the project manager. Okay. So based on how many projects they are handling at a time, they are going to make the project manager there. They can be again divided geographically also. Okay, so this can be like a project manager at Bangalore airport. This can be a project manager for Chennai port. This can be a project manager at Singrauli for thermal power plant. Okay, so like this, the number of the projects they have, the organizational structure is going to expand here. It's the expansion is going horizontally now. At the same level, it is being expanded. Okay, so this is a project-based organization. This is a project-based organization. Anyone who is working in that project, they are going to report to the project manager. But ultimately, this project manager is going to report to the chief executive, like this. Okay, what does this organizational structure shows you is who should report to whom. Okay, who is responsible for what work, and how should the authority flow. Okay, and how the responsibility flows. To understand this neatly, we need to make a good organization structure. That's why it is required. That's why this is a project or the product-based organization. Next, fourth one. Yeah, matrix or grid type of organization. Okay, this is very important, and most of the leading companies they follow this method. Because now remember one thing, whatever the methods I am talking, all the methods have their own advantages and disadvantages. Please understand this. Okay. All the methods have their own advantages and disadvantages. It is left to the manager what type of an organization he should adopt in his particular project. That is very important. Okay. Whereas in most of the cases, in the recent cases now, as far as the present scenario is considered, all the companies are following this type of an organization structure. It's called as matrix organization structure. Okay. Here, what will happen is everyone is like production group. So now here I have the projects along the rows I have, and along the columns I have the heads for the individual departments. So this is an agglomeration of project-based and function-based. Matrix type is an agglomeration of project-based and functional-based organization. Now what happens here is this production group is working for both project manager at A for project A, and they are also working under the production manager. So there is a communication here. There is a both horizontal and vertical communication. But if I go to the previous one, here there is only vertical communication. There is no horizontal communication. Okay, in some cases, in some circumstances, horizontal communication is also required. Not always, but in some cases, horizontal communication is also required, but that is not there here in the third one. But that drawback can be that drawback can be overcome by having our communication along the horizontal line also. So if you could look at this, there is a communication along the both vertical and along the horizontal lines. Okay, so that is being overcome here, but still there is a difficulty, there is a disadvantage as far as this matrix or grid type of formation is considered. See, there is one rule in the management. It is called as unity of command. Can you hear me? It's called as unity of command. It means, what does it mean is, any single manager is supposed to report to his top subordinate. He is only one top subordinate. He should report to only one higher authorized people. Okay. Here, what has happened here is in the fourth case, if I take this manager who is a production group manager here, he should report to the manager at project A. he should also report to the project production manager at the corporate level. Whatever the red you are seeing, no, these are the people who are sitting in the corporate companies, corporate offices. Whatever the project manager you are seeing, these are the heads of the projects. Now the one who is working here is going to report to both these two. In that case, he is violating the unity of command. What happens in a unity of command is one person is always he should always report to his above subordinate. If there are two subordinates, if he is made to report to two subordinates, then there will be a communication. There is always going to be a miscommunication. Okay, he will never understand to whom he should follow here. He cannot follow whether he should like obey the he should obey to this project manager or he should obey to the production manager. So he is always confused here. So there are more number of bosses. That becomes a confusion for these people. That is the one disadvantage of matrix or the grid organization. Okay. So generally for construction firms we use functional organizational structure or pure projectized based organizational structure or the matrix based organizational structure. Now we will go into some slides of organizational structure for a construction company. So this is one typical construction company organizational structure. So there's a design engineer, mechanical and electrical engineer, then there's a construction engineer, the contract engineer, marketing manager, finance, and then technical. And there are different projects. For all these, there is a different people who are working here. Okay, so what type of organizational structure is this now? This is a matrix type of organizational structure or grid type of organizational structure. Okay, here the QS stands for quantity surveyor. He should report to the project manager here, and he should also report to the contract people, those who are working for contracts in the corporate company. He should also report to these people. Okay. In some cases, he will be confused to whom he should report. Okay. So that's a drawback. This is again a grid type. Vice president, and there are product managers. So two boss employees. These are the two boss employees. Okay, and they will be in a confusion state throughout. So similarly, this is another organizational structure for a construction firm. So senior general manager, the area manager, there is a project manager, and then there's a planning engineer, quantity surveyor, office engineer, construction manager, quality control and material engineer, safety officer, storekeeper, so many others working here. This is purely a functional one, right? There is no matrix type here. This is purely a functional one or project based. This is also again a functional based organizational structure. So this is an organizational chart for road construction department, the government of Bihar. Okay. Next, we'll try to understand what type of management styles a construction manager should adopt so that his employees or his subordinates are going to work. Okay. So the type of management styles what he can adopt is an autocratic style, a democratic style, and the lice and fair style. Lice and fair style, or it's also called as free real style. This is the third one. Is also, can you see what I'm typing here? free style. Okay. With these three styles, we can have a control over the people who are working in a project. That's autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire style or free rein style. Autocratic is something like authoritative. It's like using Hitler policy. We will give orders, the manager will give orders, and everyone is supposed to, everyone is supposed to follow the orders. That is autocratic. Democratic is including all, we are taking decisions where in such a way that each and every manager is being participated in the meeting, in our decision making. So involving all the managers in the decision making is democratic. Okay. If decisions are made at the top level, it is autocratic. Okay. And the third one is free. Last style is free rein style. It means let it go. ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬೇಕು ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊರಿ ಅಂತ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡು. That is the third management style. Autocratic, democratic, and free rein style. Can you tell me which one is suitable in the construction industry?
Democratic.
Someone says democratic. Okay, I'll give you an example. Let us discuss, let us imagine you are in a final year, you have a project. Okay, you have a project team. Let us assume I am being your guide now. Okay, what type of style you want so that I can handle you? Someone please answer my question. What type of style you expect from me to handle you? Yes?
Democratic.
Yeah, someone says democratic. Very good. Okay. So let us say I am dealing with you in a democratic style. So I am including you while making our of the scope of the project. Say we want to do this and this so that we can achieve this. ನಾಲ್ಕು ಮಂದಿನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನು ಕೂತು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ we finalize it very neatly as far as first day is considered. Okay, so that's a democratic, I agree. Later I will come to know that after 15 days I come to know that nobody is working. I thought like in the democratic style, I made you to participate while making the problem statement. So I was thinking like, okay, my students, they are working, so I need not have control over them. But yavago deadline bandaga, then I ask you like you ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬರೀಪ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವತ್ತು ಬರ್ತೀರಿ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಖಾಲಿ ಬುಕ್ ಕೊಡೋದು ಸರ್ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡೋದು. Then will the democratic style work here?
No, sir.
It didn't work. Then I should change my management style. Isn't it? So what type of style I have to use in that case now?
Autocratic.
Isn't it? So there's nothing like which style is good or which style is bad. Only thing is everyone who is working in the organization, if everyone is working for the attainment of the goal of the organization, we should not bother which style of management is being used. Okay, we should keep working on it. Okay, but for theoretical purpose, we have to say what are the advantages and disadvantages are. The laissez-faire style, it's still least controlling. ನಾನು ಹುಡುಗರು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಯಾರ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರ ಅಂತ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡುದು, ನಾ ಕೇಳಂಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 4 ತಿಂಗಳು ಏನೂ ಕೇಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. It happens, it works good if all my students are if they are interested in that particular project, if they wanted to do R&D in that particular project, we never know. Even with that style, they will give me a good project. Okay. So can you tell me in free rein style, if we want to work in a free rein style, what is the condition? Everyone should have their will to work. They should be experienced. In that case, we can make them to work on their own, let it be style. Okay, or otherwise we have to use autocratic or the democratic style based on how my subordinate is responding. It's nothing like autocratic is bad and democratic is good. Not like that. Okay. I hope you are understanding the points. So autocratic style, there are again various types of autocratic style like authoritative style, persuasive, and paternalistic. Authoritative ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಇದರೊಳಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ದೇ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ನಾನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೇನೆ, ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಮುಂದೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಅ ಲೆಟರ್. Okay, I have authority to give you a letter. I will give you a letter. Now, by taking a letter, you think, okay, if not done, I think I will lose my marks. Then I have to do. Okay, I will start our project now. That's authoritative. With some formalities, okay, we will make people to work. We will make them to understand their responsibility. That is authoritative. Persuasive. Authoritative ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆನೂ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಾಪ ಕರೆದು we need to persuade them. Okay, we need to ask them, like we need to consult him, like what is the problem, why you are not doing it. Okay, and we need to make sure that this is his responsibility. So we have to persuade him to make him work. And the third one is paternalistic. ಹೊಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಏನಾರ ತಪ್ಪು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, that is paternalistic. Okay, I think I need not to explain that. Right? So these are some autocratic styles of management. And this is useful in organizations with hierarchical structures where management makes all of the decisions based on positioning in the hierarchy. This is helpful when generally only top level management, they make their decisions at the top. The second one is democratic. The democratic management style involves managers reaching the decisions with the input of the employees. So they take the input here as far as democratic style is considered, but they make also responsible for making the final decision. Okay, so they involve them in the meeting, they involve in the decision making. At the same time, they also give the responsibility, they also make them responsible. The ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಪಸ್, it's like I gave you everything, I gave you the responsibility, you should have done that. If I am at the higher level, you are at the lower level, if you have not done that, so in that case, here the top level people say, I told you, I gave you everything, but you have not done. Okay, that is some sort of a disadvantage again. So there is no support from the top level people as far as democratic is considered in some situations. Okay, the various types of styles of this democratic style is consultative. We may have to consult him. We need to make them to participate, and we should make them to work in collaborative way. Ibru koodi ಮಾಡೋಣ ಬಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು, let us work together, say, or consult him about the problems, or make him to participate. Somehow there are some needs. Everything, these all things, again, if I explain them, it's very broad. Subject is very broad. I'm just restricting myself here. Okay, but here the time involvement is very like there's more time involvement because decision is being made at every level. We are seeking information from everyone. So in that case, the time taken for the decision is going to be more in democratic style. License and fair style, it involves very less interference from the top level management. Okay, here everyone is free to work on their own, but this style is suitable for the projects where the workers are having experience. We should have highly skilled laborers or the employees. Then the style works, or otherwise this style is going to be very dangerous to the construction company. The same three styles are just shown it in the form of a pictorial way. Autocratic, if you could look at this arrows, they give you the arrows represent the direction of the flow of the command. Okay, command is flowing like do this. He says do this. This is autocratic. Do this or that as you see the best method. This is laissez-faire style. Okay, the democratic is what do you think we should do? So we are involving these people here in the decision making. That is democratic. Okay, how the management control and employee control varies for autocratic and free range style is in autocratic style. Okay, employee has no control over the decisions. It's only the management who have a control over the decisions. Okay, management has most of the knowledge and the skills, and they have a control over here. Whereas in the free range style is considered, the employee have a control over everything. The management is not going to involve in their decisions. Okay, only these two I am talking here. Rest I think you can understand. Again, a difference between an autocratic and the participate, persuasive, consultative, what is how they differ being mentioned here. So here I'm going to end the session. I'll give these slides. Not to worry. Okay. Please give your attendance in the chat box. Any difficulties? Yeah, in the last class, I think Kavya asked the question like, if student is working in a project, whether he is called as a, whether he or she is being called as a stakeholder. Okay. See, one thing, if you want to be called as a stakeholder, you should be directly or indirectly or positively or negatively affected by the project. One thing. Okay, or otherwise, you should have some responsibility as a company. I'm giving you like I'm talking of only construction company. If you should have a responsibility as an employee in the company for to achieve the project. If that is the case, you are a stakeholder. Okay, if not, you are not a stakeholder. If you are just visiting the project as a student for 15 days or 1 month and you have no contribution towards the project, then you are not a stakeholder. Okay, unless and until if you are affected positively or negatively by the project, okay, maybe you are sitting outside or maybe you are working in a company, you are called as a stakeholder. If you are not contributing anything, if you are just visiting the site, just to understand the things, then you are not called as a stakeholder. I hope you got the point there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. So I hope everyone has given the attendance. We will end the session. Thank you, Ananda.